Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. I'm Glenn, one half of Jack and Glenn. We're going to talk about today the Ready to Love, Make a Move finale, reunion, whatever you want to call it. So once again, hit the subscribe button, bell notification. Let's dig into this. I want to give you a quick review of what we saw on this past episode or this past reunion. We start off with, the girls still going in, right? They still talking about Charisse and their sisterhood and how they're arguing, and Charisse feel like she's being ganged up on. And Vern just comes out and says what I said on last week's review. Charisse has history of trauma, right? Charisse has history of being bullied, being picked up on. And when you go against Charisse, it backs her into a wall. She makes her feel as if she has to lash back out. It make her feel like she's being attacked. And everybody's coming after her. And what Tanika said and what Tanika Ray said and Tamika said was that they are sisters, right? It's like siblings who have arguments and disagreements. Sometimes Charisse doesn't know how to handle that. She doesn't know how to handle disagreements and that type of thing. Not in a bad way, but she doesn't like to handle it when more than one person's coming after her. I think if she's a type of person, if you talk to her sensibly one-on-one, allow her to get her thought across, then she'll be a much better person, right? The thing is, when they wasn't allowing her to speak her truth, and they kept interjecting and kept cutting her off that is what raised her, heightened her insecurities, which heightened her aggressiveness, right? Her combativeness. That's the word they've been using all season, combativeness, right? That's what heightened that when you don't allow a person who feels like they're being attacked to say anything. Again, you're attacking me again by not letting me talk. You're stifling my words. You're holding me. And so that was one of the Charisse's big issues. We get past that. Everybody takes a breather. Everybody takes a break. They relax a little bit. And then they move on. We come back to the stage. We see Donald on the stage. We see Kirsten on the stage. We see Donald's friend Lakeisha on the stage. And everybody was doing good. Kirsten asked Kirsten some questions. Kirsten, my brother, was like, look, he pulled a Marshawn Lynch, right? I'm here just so I don't get fined, man. Every question they asked him, he gave a one-word answer. He didn't basically want to be there, right? He's mad at Ashley. He's hating on Ashley, right? Whether he's hating on Ashley because she chose Donald, by the way he treated her, by the way she treated him, or just manipulation altogether. He was rejected, right? That she didn't choose him. She didn't select him. She didn't bring him back. Bruh was hated more. Bruh, is more hurt now than he was, when he came back to the show, right? I don't know. Maybe did he see some episodes, right? Did he see how he looked? What's going on, right? Because she's already rejected you the first time, but you willingly came back the second time and you didn't show that type of energy, right? That type of energy was not displayed. That type of energy was not shown. So where did all this anger come from? Where did all this energy, hatred come from? If you wasn't like that the first time she rejected you and she brought you back, is that she rejected you twice on national television? Or was you being brought back the second time, part of your contract? Let us know, right? Because you didn't show that type of energy before. Nonetheless, they give him a pass, let him go. He goes backstage. He tells the producers, I told you I wasn't doing this anyway. I told you I wasn't talking. And basically he goes, he gets his paycheck, and he's on his way out of here, right? Then they get into the conversation, man. The conversation with Donald, Lakeisha, and Ashley. And Donald basically says, look, he was stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? If he stood up for Ashley, then he was going against Lakeisha. If he went against Lakeisha, that means he agrees with what Ashley was doing and her behavior. And he felt like he was going to gang. If he was going with Lakeisha, he felt like they was ganging up on Ashley. So he didn't want to do that, right? He didn't want to gang up on Ashley. He didn't want to see if it was as if it was 2-on-1. Was he correct about some of Ashley's behaviors? Yes. We know Ashley is aggressive. Ashley does talk with her hands. Ashley could be a handful. Donald was like, yo, you always cut me off. The way that you talk, your tone, and her tone is rough. Sometimes I'll have to learn that. It's all about tone, speech, and tone, pitch, and voice, right? I want to get him to say it one more time. It's about tone, pitch, and voice, right? You can say things multiple ways, right? and you mean well by it, but it's by your tone, your pitch, and your voice, and how a person receives it. And sometimes we don't understand our own tone, pitch, and voice. I raise my hand on that. I'm one person who may not understand my tone, pitch, and voice. I've been told that multiple times, that I come off aggressive. Me? Not really, right? That I come aggressive based off your tone, and pitch, and voice. So again, Ashley's tone, pitch, voice, and I'm gonna add one more to Ashley. Her body language, right, makes it seem as if what Donald really was saying is, you don't let me be a man. You don't give me a word edgewise. You want me to be what you want me to be. You put me in a box that you're controlling, that you're demeaning, you're demoralizing me, and all this stuff. He didn't say it verbatim, but that's what he meant, right? This is what's going on. You're doing these things, and this is how I feel. And I don't think she understood what he meant by how he's feeling. Right? He's telling Ashley, look, I need you. You was controlling, right? I need you to not be controlling. If this relationship is continuing to go, don't be controlling. Now, they're friends. They're not in a relationship. They're doing their thing, right? We'll talk about that. They're doing their thing. At the end of the show, everybody wanted to put them together. So like they just said they had built up sexual injury. Don't have sex with that girl, right? That's only going to complicate things in this relationship. This relationship is toxic. It is very toxic, and you don't want to complicate it with them having sex. I don't know what Tamika Lee was talking about, or Tanika Ray. Do not. I don't care if they look good together, if they can converse with each other properly. This is not the relationship where they need to go and get in the bed real quick. It will only complicate things between Donald and Ashley. They ran off and jokingly as if they were going to do a quickie. Bruh. Look, run for the hills. Unless she gets some healing, unless you get some healing, and unless you can stay away from toxic relationships, do not continue this. But I move on. They're just friends right now, and as I mentioned, they're just friends, and they try to feel things out. They're trying to work it out. Then we move on to Maurice and Mazel. Maurice says, "Look, him and Sharice is doing well together. That has not been to Miami, but he flew her up to go to the Essence Festival. And of course, they had VIP seating, right? That Sharice said, that's the only way I am. That's the type of girl I am. That was in the first couple rows. Enjoy them together, right? They're having fun. She's found her love. She found somebody who makes her smile, makes her blush. And you can see that she genuinely likes Maurice. You can see that Maurice genuinely likes Sharice, right? They're working together to see if they can build this thing up. And I wish her the best, right? I wish that Sharice and Maurice the best. Sometimes somebody got to find love on the show because everybody else didn't, right? Somebody else got to find it. Sharice joked mentioned that she might be coming to New Orleans, right? She might be moving after all these years from Miami to New Orleans. I'll tell you this, Sharice, don't move, right? Have enough, don't move to Miami yet until you know that this thing is 100% official, right? And when I say 100% official this is my opinion, my take on this is 100% official when he put a ring on your finger, right? Keep the long distance relationship. Keep that bad boy going. If he can love you in a long distance, then he know he love you when y'all close. Right? If he loves you when you're far away, he'll definitely love you when you're close. Continue to make him put in the work. Continue to make him do what he needs to do. If he can open up an office in Miami, whatever the case may be, or y'all can continue to see each other, meet each other in the middle, but do not, in my opinion, move to New Orleans, until that dude's ready to put a ring on your finger. Don't be heartbroken and don't waste any money, right? I'm not saying Maurice is a bad guy, but sometimes we move too quickly. And then we're looking, and want to know where we went wrong at. We went wrong because you moved too quickly. But I move on, right? They call Mazel comes in, you almost forgot that he was there as they were talking about Maurice and Sharice, right? As they were talking about Maurice and Sharice, you forgot Mazel was on the couch. Mazel was called out for sending pictures of himself to Venetia. Venetia like, yo, you started a conversation. You talked to me all night. You continued all this from the beginning to the end. And Mazel still don't want to take ownership for the fact that he was skirting around Sharice. So he was doing something, not that he wasn't supposed to do, but he was doing some shady stuff. He was acting like a player, right? In the streets, all the ladies mentioned it. In the streets, bro may have not gotten caught, right? They may not know what was going on. Nobody would have caught him. But on the show with cameras everywhere, people everywhere, he got caught. And Mazel just didn't have accountability. Wasn't caught up to himself. Didn't have any accountability. Wasn't honest to himself. Like, this is what I was doing, right? We never fess up, right? He didn't, Vern comes in. I didn't care about the dates. I didn't care about this, that, and the other. How she, just the way she does, right? Kind of song like, yo, you cared. You cared enough to take his number. You cared enough to have a conversation with him over a long period of time. You cared enough that, you know what, I don't want any smoke, so I'm going to go ahead and tell Sharice what is going on. She made it as if she didn't care. She made it as if she told Sharice because she didn't care about the relationship. You cared about the relationship. You thought about going out with this man, right? You thought about maybe entertaining, right, Mazel, knowing that he was still messing with Sharice. So don't give, like, the fact that you told about you didn't care. You cared because you wouldn't have gave him your number. You cared because you interacted with him. You cared because you told Sharice. Those things show you that you cared, not necessarily about him as a person. You cared enough that you wanted to go on a date and see where it may go. It just never matriculated because you found out that he didn't have any honesty, he didn't have any integrity, and his character was shot. If he had honesty and integrity, and he was an upright guy, and he was straightforward with Sharice about the situation, that he liked you instead of her, you might have went out with him, and we might have seen Tabari, you might have seen Jabari, Tabari, and Mazel instead of just Tabari and Jabari. Always talking about Jabari and Tabari is this. They bring them out on the stage for Vern. Vern said, look, her and Jabari had great energy, right? He invited her everywhere. He took care of her. He gave her the communication she needed. He did everything that she asked in a man, and she was ready to go, except the fact that his traditional way of wanting a woman to be is not the way, it not lines up with her lifestyle. Sometimes she said she's working till 2 o'clock in the morning. He wants his woman in the bed by 9:30, right? He has a great job. He works for the government. They just didn't line up. And to Jabari doubled down on this, man. Like, look, when I come home, I want a woman kind of turn it off. And when he clarified what he meant by turn it off, you don't have to be the boss at the house, right? Let me take care of you. Let me manage some things. Let me be the one that's meeting your needs, right? And Vern was like, I know how to turn it off. I know how to, kind of be submissive. Nobody want to use the word submissive, but they use the word submissive. Submissive is not a bad word, right? Submissive, that I submit one to another, right? We're in agreement, right, with certain things. And Jabari was like, a man in his own house shouldn't be bending all the time, right? You shouldn't always be bending. There should be some compromise. And that's what he said. And I think they took it out of context. Like, hold on, what you mean? Man, they supposed to be bending. Nah, we're supposed to come to agreement on this thing. We're supposed to have this thing together. All right? We're supposed to have some kind of agreement. If I'm always bending and never receiving anything, if I'm always just taking, I'm always bending, what does that make it? No one ever looks at what does that make a man feel like if he's always bending and catering to the need of the woman. She's not catering to his need. And I'm not just talking about sexual, right? I'm not just talking about within power within the home. There has to be a mutual compromise in the home, so one doesn't feel like they're the one that's being pushed over or feel like they're the one that's always bending. There should be type of agreement, conversation, communication, and boundaries in marriage. So that's a whole different video, right? But I wanted to touch that a little bit on that. A guy who feel like he's bending all the time in the house does not feel like he is the king of his castle. It may be his own insecurity, but it's, again, maybe the woman who's trying to take over. Again, it depends on your role, depends on your relationship, depends on how you view relationships, and that's why you have conversations. That's why you don't move in with people until you know exactly where you guys are at. And that's why you don't marry people until you're on the exact same page. Here, from the good book says, how can two walk together except they agree, right? You got to be able to agree in order to be able to make this thing work for a long time. And you got to be understand. So they couldn't agree on that. He believes, Jabari, like, I believe in gender roles, right? There are some people who believe in gender roles, that men do this, women do this. Different day and age for different folks, different couples, different things. For people, there's a different day and age. And some people are traditionalists and some people aren't. And Vern seems like she is traditional to a certain extent. But then there's an extent where she wants to do her own thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. And Jabari he couldn't accept it, right? He couldn't accept that. Then we move on. And she said her and Jabari are real good friends, right? They still talk. They still, talk on social media. Jabari said he has a girlfriend right now. He has somebody that he's dealing with and somebody that he's with right now. So he's working on that. Then we get to Tabari, right? The Bari brothers. Tabari was like, he was shocked. He was shocked He felt like his character was berated. He felt like Vern was constantly putting him down. He said her body language was never inviting for him to even to show intimacy or show past compassion for. He said he was never inspired to do more. He said Vern didn't communicate with him. He said never was inspired to do more. And Vern, he said Vern never communicated with him except for when she was like, "Why you ain't text me? Why you ain't called me? Why you ain't nagging me?" And she was like, "Yo, I don't know how to chase a guy." Right? Well, y'all saw her video, right? You saw the video on Instagram when she talked about this, that it felt like Tabari was just acting, right? Felt like Tabari was just on a set. Felt like Tabari was just doing a job. He only spoke to her when it was time for them to film or when they was going on dates, where, production was paying for it, right? Where production was making, all the decisions, and it seemed like Tabari didn't make any of the decisions himself. But with Jabari made all those type of things. They were dating off camera. They was talking off camera. So she really, if Tabari if Tabari and Jabari could blend together, then they would probably have a perfect man that Vern likes, right? A guy who is an entrepreneurial spirit, a guy who allows her to do her own thing, but while he's doing his own thing, a guy who's a support her, and a guy who has untraditional roles, and that's what she was looking for. Tabari felt hurt. He felt like he was let down. He felt like him and Vern are not friends right now. They don't talk on a regular basis, and he felt, he felt broken. He felt broken. He felt like Vern didn't do him any type of justice. So their relationship didn't work, and she was like, his actions and words have not aligned. I think Zadia said that his words and actions have not aligned, and so they ain't together, y'all. They ain't together. So we know how that goes. They're not together. We see Camille come out there. Camille comes out there, and basically Stormy comes. Let's keep it in order. We see Ashley and Stormy on the stage. Ashley tells Stormy that she felt like she was left out of the date, right? Stormy says she's gonna wear that to a date. When somebody call out, she's gonna put on some of her best stuff. And Ashley like, that's not what I would have wore. I wouldn't have wore that type of stuff. That's you, right? You knew your friend. You know what she wears, right? Again, I put some of this I put some of this on Stormy, but I also put some of this on Kirsten because he engaged, he interacted, he forgot who he was there for, right? Stormy may be making conversation. We did a whole live, I think I did a whole video on this. They was engaging in conversation. It was talking, and Kirsten took it to another level. She's asking about brothers. She's asking how old you are. She's trying to get some information. It came again. I talked about earlier in this video. Tone, pitch, and voice, right? If you come off as if your tone, your pitch, and your voice comes off as if you're trying to be entertained by him, then that's what you're gonna present, right? If you come off that you're trying to question him, like, hey, bro, what's up with you and my girl? Make the questions geared more about Ashley than about Stormy, then that would have been fine. She didn't do that. Ashley felt like she was a third wheel. I don't think we really put too much ownership on Ashley neither, because Ashley said she got quiet. She backed down. She didn't say nothing. Stormy like, I didn't know you was mad, girl. You should have said something to me after we finished filming. Ashley was lost for words. Really? Ashley lost for words? Ashley should have had words in the middle of that moment, stepped up and said, hey, how about me, right? She should have, and Zadia said it, she should have checked Ashley, should have checked Stormy in that moment, like, hey, get back to what your task is. You're on task. You got a task here. Your task is to boom, 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 right? Your flavor is to boom, 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 boom. I need you to work on X, Y, Z. And those are the type of things that Stormy was not able to do. And that's the thing that Ashley was not able to do that she should have did in order to correct or to check Stormy. Hey, get on task. Stormy got upset, stormed off, and she's like, you know how this make me look? You know how this make me look? She felt bad that the way that it came off, the way that she wanted it to come off, didn't come off that way, right? Do I think she was trying to hit on Kirsten? Probably not, right? Do I think the conversation went south because she's like, hey, Ashley's on the show. This man's just a good-looking man. He got some brothers, type stuff. Yeah, I think that went that way, and it looked bad. Looked bad for her, and she wasn't feeling it. Ashley chases her off stage. They reconcile. They both come back, and things are done. Ashley shares her part about how, Ashley started giving, Zadia gave them advice, right? They gave Ashley advice. So And I said that earlier about, about waiting in the moment, sharing things now, stop holding on to things, and the energy that you give it to them now, and not, just don't wait. There's a moment of season for everything, right? We move on. Ashley and Stormy reconcile, and they're whatever. We see Cam, all right? Cam comes out, and now it's him and Zadia's turn to take the couch, man. And you know what? Cam is sometimes too honest, right? Too brutally honest in the moment, in the place. Cam said, "Hey, look, I put in a lot of work here. I put in a lot of work. I didn't go to DC, but I put in work. I try to talk to her. We try to converse. And Zadia, like, only time you converse with me is when I called you, right? You didn't make, and Cam didn't deny it, right? He didn't say, oh yeah, he didn't lie. He didn't lie, right? And so it must be true that he only put in work. He only called her, or he talked to her when she called him. But Brad told you that from the beginning, right? He told you that, look, I do a lot of work. I move on. What he said was, he said, he talked about building a house, right? He said, I'm trying to get a good space get to the place where when I build a woman that is able to make it easy, or for us to be in a good space for a woman to come into his life. He's not in that space yet, right? He thought the show would help him find love. It didn't help him find love. Helped him find a friend. Helped him get a little piece of the cookie, right? The cat, the candy dish. Helped him do that, but didn't help him find the love that he needed. He said he liked Zadia. He liked hanging around Zadia. He loved being enjoying with her. Zadia even said, I've asked you several times, like, what's going on with this process? I asked the question about continuing, and you said yes, right? And Cam said, I tried. And she's like, that's trying? He tried enough that you kept him to the end of the show. Camille mentioned it. Camille told you that Cam was about his business, that he's about his work, and that you ignored the advice of your friend. You didn't see the red signs. You saw the red signs, you saw the red flags, and you pushed past. You thought you could change this guy. You thought that you could mold him and make him different. You thought your candy dish and your goody good was going to make him flip his mind, right? You thought it was going to make him maneuver, and change some things that he didn't, to change some things that he wasn't really ready to change. And Cam was like, I'm not changing it. I'm happy. He gave her a gift, like, yo, y'all see the clip. He gave her some pictures and things like that, like basically a past gift. A gift of pictures that he took. The pictures and stuff was on fire, put in a nice frame. Cam was like, again, he felt relieved, not when Zadia left. That was flipped. Unless they did something later. He felt relieved when the process was over. Bro wasn't comfortable with the cameras. Bro wasn't comfortable with the call times. He wasn't comfortable with having to go on this date, had to go to this mixer. He's more comfortable with doing his own thing, working to his own flow, working his schedule, working his beat. And he felt when the process was over, he like, I can get back to my normal life. That's what he talked about. I can get back to my normal life. My life that I was living without you. Not that I don't like you, not that I don't care about you, but I like my normal life. He said and that's what he wanted to get back to. But Zadia's made it about her, right? Also, this process, you were waiting for me to leave, couldn't wait. He didn't say that, right? He didn't mind. I think if she could march to his beat or work on his schedule and it would live in New Orleans, it probably could work, right? That the dating process can move and go to a place where I think he did care about her. He does. He mentioned, I did care about you. I do care about you. It's just not working between us because you're here and I'm there. And I don't have the energy, the time to always be on the phone. She was like, same thing Vern's complaint was, can you text me in the morning? Can you give me a call? Now, bro, there's nothing wrong with texting somebody good morning. There's nothing wrong with texting somebody throughout the day. I'm thinking about you. If you're trying to pursue that person, right? That's part of pursuing. That's part of pursuing a person, right? That's a part of a man trying to find a woman, is that he's trying to pursue her. He's trying to write some things down for her. He's going to send her some message. When he does not do that, it means he's not trying to pursue you. If he can go days without talking to you, that means he doesn't like your conversation. That means he doesn't want to engage with you. Sometimes women have to catch the hint. Men are, as he said, when men talk about timing, right, there's a problem. When men talk about this is not the right time for us, and this is not the type part of, that mean he doesn't want to be in a relationship. If you have a forced a man to communicate, I agree with Vern. If you have a forced a man to talk to you, then there's a problem. Y'all know how it was when you were in high school. That little boy, little girl kept calling you. Y'all was on the phone all night long. Well, it depends on how old you are watching this video. You was on the phone. Y'all fell asleep on the phone. All right, because he wanted to spend time with you. He wanted to chase you. Right? Men don't change their behavior. If the man wants to chase you, or if the man wants you, he'll find ways to communicate with you. All right? Cameron didn't want to communicate. And you saw Zadia was hurt. She was lost for words, and she was tremendously hurt. Hurt by the fact that she probably got dropped on TV. Hurt for the fact that this man played her heart. Hurt for the fact that she could have dated other people on the show, maybe found somebody else. Remember when she went on dates, she said, I really want to be on these dates because I'm just stuck with Cam. I want to be invested in Cam, or I am invested in Cam. This is where it happens. She put all her eggs in one basket, and she dropped the basket, and all the eggs cracked. All right. And she felt heartbroken. She felt disgusted. She felt left out there. She felt embarrassed. She took the picture, one of his pictures, and slid across the floor. She felt rejected. Here it is, newsflash, and I'll say it. I'll be that guy. Your candy dish is not the only thing going to keep men around. Your wahoo, your cookie, it has to be much more, right? And this guy didn't want. She thought that if I give him the candy dish, that will keep him around. It didn't. And Cam was mentally focused. He didn't let that take him off his game. He has a game plan. He has a goal. And he's trying to achieve that, right? He said about a year or 2 years, then they can move forward and she can have the soft life that she wants. If you want a soft life, you'd be willing to wait. She doesn't want to wait. So she won't have that soft life with Cam. They moved on. We come back. We realize Zadia is not having, Zadia is still pissed. Vern's not settling for what she wants. We see Maurice and Sharice, they're having a great time. They're enjoying each other. They enjoy the company. And we see Donald and Ashley try to run off and fake a quickie, whatever case may be. All in all, good show, good review. Hope they come back with another season of this format. I think this format is a good format for some people who need second chances to have second chances at finding love, but for their specific, for the women. Right, because we know the real show kind of is geared towards men, but it's good for the women to have this opportunity and chance. Let me know what you thought about the review. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought about Zadia, Vern, even Ashley and Sharice. The great comment, great show. Once again, appreciate you. Make sure you hit if you made it to the end of this video, why not hit the subscribe button? Why not hit the bell notification? Why not just tap into everything that we're doing? Got some great things lined up for you guys. We appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with us. Talk to you later. Peace.